Good morning and welcome back. It's now a minute past 7 a.m. Good morning. This is beautiful Monday morning. My name is Victor Lo. It's Eye on Politics on this beautiful 4th day of May 2026. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of politics. As usual, being a Monday is Eye on Politics, and I want us to get through it and get to understand what really happened over the weekend and what's going to happen in the coming days. So today I want us to take a look at what is the political outlook in the country, and the temperatures are building and rising, pole pole as they would say, and that is how it's going to be until we hit the next general election come 2027. That is going to be our topic of discussion, political outlook. I'm joined by Oscar Mondi. Oscar Mondi is a political and governance expert. He's also a university don. I'm waiting for Mheshimiwa Francis Mwangangi, who is the Deputy Governor of Machakos, and Ambassador Dr. Richard Busit to join us shortly. All right. Let me take you through the front page of the local dailies before we get to a discussion. For that, Oscar, good morning.
Good morning, Victor, and how was your weekend?
So far, so good.
Thank you very much.
Arsenal won.
Yeah, Arsenal won, but I don't know if they will win the league. I don't know.
What did you say?
I don't know if they will win the league. I mean, Man City is two more games away, so Arsenal might not win.
We started this discussion very well. Unaribu.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. The reality is that, you know, when Arsenal wants to win the league, there's like, if Man City loses that one, then if Manchester United loses that one, then they draw that one, then we win it. You know, you cannot win it like that all the time. You should just win it by at least 5 games to the end. You have 20 points ahead.
With three to go, right?
3 to go. I mean, it's going to the wire. Yeah, it's going to the wire. So,
okay.
With a lot of pressure, you know, Arsenal is also playing again in Champions League, so the pressure is too much for them. I don't know if they will.
And even Man City, they also have matches. Apart from the other team, which rests for 92 days, then plays one match.
When Arsenal was given the transfer window, they never made use of it. I think Manchester City reinforced the team during the transfer window. All these teams were struggling at the beginning.
We had enough squad depth.
Are you Arsenal?
Yeah, we have a very good squad depth, apart from some of the injuries we suffered.
Okay.
Saka is back.
I never win debate against Arsenal fans. So it's fine.
Let's take a look at what's on the front page of local dailies. But there is a Chelsea fan, so we understand. On the front page of the Star newspaper, 5% tax for Mitumba 2026 finance bill. 5% tax for Mitumba in 2026 finance bill. Importers to pay tax income before goods are released. That is what's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Importers will have to pay income tax before goods are released. That is 5% on Mitumba to be introduced in the 2026 finance bill. And there's a story here about government now terminates Raila pension packs. That is months after the former premier passed on, and the law says that the spouse of the state officer now is entitled to 50% of the packs that the former premier was receiving, and there the former prime minister's widow Ida Odinga to receive for her lifetime half of what he earned as pension. That is what is here. That's according to the papers, which are from the latest from the National Treasury, which has disclosed that the state will no longer facilitate the packs provided under the Retirement Benefits Law for former prime ministers, vice president, and other designated state officers in relations to Raila. Okay, there is a story here about heavy rains spread misery across capital city. It is going to continue for some time. Ruto to root for fairness at G7 meeting in France come June. President William Ruto will carry Africa's voice and resolutions to be made at the Africa Forward Summit starting in Nairobi next Monday to the G7 meeting in Evian, France. So that is what is here. All right, what do you have on the front page of the Standard? Ruto's boogeyman. That is what I have here. Ruto's boogeyman. Okay, and the gentleman is former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the Standard says that, so is it a case of a scapegoat? According to the Standard, that with Mount Kenya voting bloc seemingly defiant towards President Ruto's 2027 re-election, Ruto's point men have now turned their anger and frustration on retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. In what is becoming the norm, the Ruto administration has now made Uhuru its punching bag whenever it's under pressure from Kenyans to deliver on their promises in an attempt to deflect attention. And during the weekend, the Kenya Kwanza wingmen went all out with a barrage of criticism and threats on Uhuru, a clear indication of a rattled and unsettled team coming to terms with the fact that the vote-rich region is slipping away right before their eyes. That is what I have here on the front page of the Standard. Is he a boogeyman? Ruto's boogeyman?
I don't know what the issue is on this one, because, for example, if Mount Kenya leaves Ruto, they leave Ruto for who? Who is running against Ruto? Nobody. And you can ask Stedman or Infotrack. By this time, normally, Infotrack or Stedman or Ipsos, they call it, always run campaigns, opinion polls asking, in case a vote is taken today, who will you vote for as the president? They can't run it. Infotrack cannot run, Ipsos cannot run. Nobody can run that type of poll. You know very well, 1 year to election, we've always known all along for the last 20 years, for the last 4 elections, 1 year to elections, they're always busy running polls asking, in case the vote is taken today, whom will you vote for? Why haven't they run it this time round? Because there's nobody running against the President William Ruto. And now we cannot collect that type of opinion poll. So whether it's boogeyman or not, and I don't know, when you told me you're going to discuss about Uhuru Kenyatta, I thought we're going to discuss history. I thought he retired. You know, when you retire as president and you want to participate in contemporary politics, it brings even more confusion, not even to Ruto's stronghold, I think even to Mount Kenya itself.
Yeah.
Because even Uhuru Kenyatta, I think he says that he's in support of his candidate, which is Matiang'i. And you know, the politics of this country is people vote according to ethnic groups and tribal lines. DCP is a Mount Kenya party, and I don't know how you will mix Jubilee with a party candidate from a different community. It's a chaos. It's chaos.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, former president, he said that he has got all the freedom under the Constitution to speak. I even gave a classic example of President Barack Obama, who continues to champion for the stability of the party he belongs to in the US. And nobody has ever told him to go home and keep quiet.
I think that your guests, you might probably one of your guests will be a legal practitioner. I'm not a legal practitioner. I'm a political scientist. Politically, it is wrong. Legally, it's okay. Freedom of speech for everybody. Legally, it's okay. But politically, if he compares himself to like Barack Obama, I don't know what Barack Obama is doing. Barack Obama is promoting some other things like...
So legally it is okay? Legally, I think... Politically, not.
But again, legally, I think it's written in our document that you should not participate in day-to-day politics. But it's not well-defined. You know, some of these things are not well-defined in the Constitution. Because when you tell somebody doesn't have to participate in politics, does it mean that they don't have to talk?
The key word is day-to-day. We rarely hear of him. He speaks once. In fact, this time around, he just spoke once. It was a phone call.
A phone call, but his phone call brings...
So, in other words, he should keep quiet, completely go numb and quiet, fully.
He should be a nationalist.
To do what?
And to do things like whatever, when we are in turmoil, for example. There are times when we need now. You remember when we had a problem here between, in 2007. Whom did we call? We called Jakaya Kikwete. We called President Mkapa from Tanzania. We called Kofi Annan from Ghana. They also tried to call Kufo. You remember?
Yes.
Retired presidents. I mean, that is what they do. Naturally. Even Tony Blair has a very big consultancy firm, and he consults for the UN, for example. So retired presidents like Uhuru Kenyatta has been an envoy in the DRC, the problem in the DRC. And that is a good job for him and keeps him busy. I see President President Mbeki from South Africa. He's doing some consultancy work and talking about giving speeches and all this on how democracy should be done in Africa. And that talks about Africa Renaissance. It talks about Africa now. But it doesn't really engage himself in the day-to-day running of ANC in South Africa. So I still think that he should be a statesman now. But he should be the guy on top of everything to give some guidelines on how the country should go. But if he takes sides and supports one side of the divide, it might bring a lot of chaos and might be problematic to other players.
There is a caricature here. There's a cartoon here. I want my cameraman to zoom in a bit. Let's talk about this camera. It's related to what we are talking about. Here we have, you'll see it on the screens there. We have, and I want you to give me your interpretation of this cartoon in relation to what we are doing. There you have it. We have got, that is former presidents, the late President Moi and President Mwai Kibaki. And that is Uhuru Kenyatta, right? That is Uhuru Kenyatta. And behind him is Rigathi Gachagua, if I get it right. There are two microphones, one in a yellow tape, seemingly muzzled, and it seems that Uhuru Kenyatta has carried one microphone. How do you interpret that cartoon, Oscar, when it's still on the screen?
Yeah, you see, this cartoon says that in the shadows of Uhuru Kenyatta, there is, that is Gachagua behind him.
Right.
Right? And Gachagua is pushing for Uhuru Kenyatta to be like a mouthpiece of Gachagua. And now it's like, again, partly zoning the part of the country where these two come from.
Right.
But the other leaders who are also in the shadows, that is Moi and Kibaki, they are long dead, but their microphones were muzzled. They are faded microphones, as opposed to these other microphones that are bright in color.
Very good.
I think if I understand this one. But his microphone is still bright in color.
Okay. So let's come back, because that is also part of our discussion. You said it is legally correct for the former president. It is his...
I mean, everybody has... We all enjoy freedom of speech.
Very true. Yeah. But politically not. So which one takes precedence? The legal aspect or the political aspect?
The quagmire or the dilemma that Uhuru Kenyatta might get into, he might be treated as a political player, like any other political player. And which does not bring honor to his office. Because he still holds an office. He holds an office, a legal office, an office of a retired president. It's a legal office in our constitution. So he still holds an office, he still has staff paid by the taxpayer, and spokespeople done by everything, and you see people who work like drivers and everybody who works around Uhuru Kenyatta and civil servants because they're paid by the taxpayer.
Yes.
So he still have a legal office. But that legal office has requirements on what should be done as holders of this office. But it's clearly that this office should not be somebody who do not engage. It is I think it is clear in our constitution. Do not engage in political machinations of the country. So he is going against the guidelines of that legal office that he holds.
Okay.
As Uhuru Kenyatta.
You realize that Uhuru Kenyatta is an official of the Jubilee Party, okay? Yeah. And so you would still expect him...
He's a party leader.
Exactly. You'd still expect him to have some words of direction with regards to the party, to stabilize the party, even as we head to the next general election. And we've seen how the party is making inroads and participation in several activities here and there. Last weekend it was Ole Kenta's homecoming. But then now, why is it that it's a big issue when he speaks?
Because he's conflicted. We didn't expect a situation where we have a retired president being a party leader.
So he should support the incumbent?
Not support the incumbent.
What should he do?
He should be a statesman. A statesman is somebody who rises above everybody else. He should be like like in a company, they're board of directors. In other words,
he should not take sides.
He shouldn't. I don't think so. He had his time. He has his 10 years.
But don't you think that is a political move? Because he still has influence, politically speaking?
Does he want to run? Yeah, he can run again. I think it's not illegal to run for like MP or governor or MCA.
If he wants to.
If he wants to. I think that one is... But when he does that, then he forgets about his pacts. He leaves that office. He must leave the office of the retired president and seek re-election and participate in contemporary politics. He can run. He cannot run for president only, but he can run for governor. I think so. He can run for MP. He can run for MCA if he wants. But I think for him to run for those positions, he must have to leave that legal office of the retired president and stop enjoying those perks because he's decided to participate in day-to-day running of politics. Yes.
There are no... That seems that it's a partisan political criticism.
Yes, if he participates in politics, like whatever move he made a comment, he must be... People will respond.
As a party leader of Jubilee.
As a party leader of Jubilee. People who are opposed or who have a contrary opinion. Because democracy, what is democracy? Democracy is the competition of ideas. He has his ideas as a former president. But when you expound those ideas, then you get yourself into the murky political field. And in the murky political field, do you expect people to keep quiet? Do you expect people that Uhuru will talk and people will keep quiet and not respond to him? And they responded to him. And now they bring him back to politics. And you know how dirty politics in this country is. Yes. So that is why if you're working or if you're running an office and running as a statesman, you know the likes of Gracia Machel, they're still alive.
Yes.
You get me right? But where do they go? Gracia Machel, Jakaya Kikwete, and Benjamin Mkapa were brought in this country to bring sanity when we had a problem because they are members of African eminent persons.
Exactly, the same way
so
President
Uhuru Kenyatta should join that league of African eminent persons.
The DRC.
Yes.
He was also given that role.
Yes.
But back home, he's not supposed to speak politically.
Yes.
When he spoke last week, everything went south.
Yeah. He's the envoy, and you know the envoy to DRC is sent by the president to DRC. By the state. He's not there on his own volition. He's there to represent the state of Kenya in the East African community in resolving the problem in the DRC as the Kenyan envoy. He's a Kenyan envoy. He doesn't go there as Uhuru Kenyatta. He goes there as the Kenyan envoy. He represents the position that Benjamin Mkapa, Kofi Annan, and Gracia Machel represented when they came here as African eminent persons. He should be African eminent person. Yes. But now, if you want to involve in the Murima politics and talks about whatever happens here sometimes.
He's said that
his position might be right, but now, what he says, his opinion could be right or wrong, but his position doesn't allow him.
He belongs to a political party.
Yes.
All right? Yes. So we'd assume that
I don't even think if the Constitution envisaged such a thing, that a retired president will still hold position in a political party. Because if it is clearly that he should not participate in politics, then he should not even hold the position of party leader of a political party.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the aspect of defending party interest?
I've told you,
yes,
there's conflict of interest. Because if the Constitution says that a retired president should not engage in day-to-day running of politics, then that means that he should not be a party leader, because if you're a party leader, then you have to participate in running daily politics, because you're the party leader. Yes. Like Oburu is the party leader of ODM. He must participate in that. Ruto is the party leader of UDA. He must participate in policies making and everything to do with UDA. He must lead UDA. So Uhuru Kenyatta leading a political party called Jubilee, you cannot deny him the right to lead that party. But I don't think if the Constitution envisages a situation where a retired president becomes a party leader of an existing and active political party in Kenya. So, the law should be... It's like hate speech, for example. We don't know at what level do we... That's why that law has not taken effect so well, because we don't even know what is hate speech and what is not hate speech, because it's not well defined. At what level do you define this one as hate speech? At what level don't you define that one as hate speech? Yeah.
When you look at the political leadership and continuity, some supporters believe that his experience in politics is what is needed mostly for the continuity of the party to be stable. He's needed so much to stabilize the party, the political discourse of the political party that he belongs to, and protect his legacy.
A president gets only 10 years in office. 5 years and another 5 years.
Right.
Yes, a second term, 10 years. If you've had your 10 years and you could not do anything within those 10 years, then after 10 years, why would you be a participant in political movements? Yeah, I don't think if it is anybody who thinks like that. I think somebody who has gotten his chance to be in any office and retired should just give space. And there are many. Mudi Awori is still alive. Yeah, he's not dead.
Yes.
Yeah, he was vice president. And the law does not even bar Mudi Awori from doing anything. But, I mean, you retired. You retired. If you retire from KBC tomorrow, Victor, you retired.
That's a different...
I won't expect to come and see you here. If you retired...
We've seen former politicians, still coming back to the podium.
Give me an example.
Of course, we've seen former Westlands MP.
Being a chairman of a funeral or when
they're still championing the discourse of political parties.
Fred Gumo has been there.
The likes of Ruben Dolo still in the Linda Mwananchi.
No, don't compare the two. He's not retired. Ruben Dolo is retired. And even Fred Gumo, I mean, he can participate in politics because the law does not bar him. But even if you see him, he's in some Luya Elders forum, not Westlands.
We will say this, that people who are saying that former President Uhuru Kenyatta should not participate in the political discourse, the one you say, day-to-day running of political discourse in this country, are afraid that he has got influence. There is a voting bloc which is still behind him, and the party that he's still leading, that is Jubilee Party. And the moment he'll say something, then other people will see that that is a false start to
Uhuru Kenyatta's influence. An influence that could not even make his candidate win the elections in 2022. He has an influence. Influence over who? Influence over who? I mean, why would somebody be scared of Uhuru Kenyatta, who could not make his candidate win elections in 2022 with the power of the incumbency?
You are the one who is afraid of him, and that is why you don't want him to speak.
Uhuru Kenyatta had his chance for 10 years. Brought this country to his knees. I mean, the debts we're struggling with, debts from his regime, 20 years of working here. Took loans that never got to our country. You don't know that? There were loans from Eurobond, and Raila died was saying that there were very many loans that was taken, but they never got even here. And we are paying for those loans. We are paying with interest. So it's a big mess. So bringing back Uhuru Kenyatta to Kenyan politics is making a bigger mess. It's making a bigger mess. Oh, how are you guys? You are here.
I don't know whether your camera is ready. I'm just trying to imagine what Oscar is trying to say. We've talked about his constitutional right. He's talked about his constitutional right to speak as a party leader, as a Kenyan. He just had a phone call on Friday, and here we are talking about Eurobond and how he messed the economy and all that. Dr. good morning.
Morning.
Why
Victor.
are you itching? Good to see you.
I mean, I don't understand how my good friend and my student
Can I shake your hand?
could be also be falling into the trap of lies. Yeah, the trap of lies where people in Kenya are not telling the truth. Our problem is not Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta, what was the debt, Kenya's debt, when Uhuru Kenyatta left office? How much is it now? What are we really talking about? What is our budget today? What can we see for it? Yeah, what can we see tangible on the ground for the budget of 4.6 trillion? Why is education on its knees? Uhuru Kenyatta didn't leave education on its knees. We came with the new issues saying, oh, we are reforming, we are doing this, we have a new program, of funding students in the universities. Instead, even with the upsurge of the number of students in the country, especially that need university education, the budget has gone down. The financing has gone down. Yeah, the system that was there, to fund students, to give student scholarships, was changed. But what did we get? Students are out, over 100,000 students are outside. You know, when Uhuru Kenyatta comes up and says something, and I believe strongly, even myself, I have a democratic right. Nobody takes the right for me to speak, the right to participate in the life, in my own life. I cannot just be boxed and told, you are like in detention. We are going to take away your money. And this intimidation has to come to a stop. Because this intimidation that they take away his parks, while he is in retirement, so that to silence him, I think it's wrong.
I ask a question because he's still the Jubilee Party leader. And when he speaks because of there is that party influence and leadership that he still wants to maintain and continue championing. Oscar says he has got a legal right to speak constitutionally, but politically no. So which one takes precedence? DG, good morning.
Where does he read from? Where does he read from?
Good morning.
When you retire, are you supposed to go home and don't speak politically?
In fact, I asked Ambassador Professor Mbozire to withdraw the greeting from the student. Because I don't think this student was in class. I think there are some of those students who are in class but somewhere near the window. I want to ask one question. Uhuru Kenyatta addressed Kenyans via just a simple phone. But now Oscar wants us to believe he should be quiet somewhere. And you can see how it has aroused the political temperature, particularly in UDA and their allies. What Victor, I want to ask you kindly, when you are inviting these State House and OP sympathizers, let them get prepared so well. Uhuru Kenyatta is a leader, is a former president. Uhuru Kenyatta is a political party leader. Uhuru Kenyatta has following. That's why you are seeing people are shaking when he speaks. We have seen whenever he appears anywhere, anywhere, whether in Western Kenya, Northern Kenya, anywhere, whenever he appears in public, how Kenyans are excited. We know, since I don't know much about the founding father of the nation, but if you ask me, there was a scandal called Goldenberg.
Yes.
If you ask me, during the third president of Kenya, whom I believe did extremely very well to develop this country, we had Agro-leasing. Under Uhuru Kenyatta and Uhuru Ruto, there was this, and I'm bringing Uhuru Ruto because they were always at the center. Yeah. And by the way, as a member of parliament, there was no time we ever met without the two. It is like they were conjoined under the 2010 constitution. Under Uhuru Ruto, we remember there was this major Eurobond thing he is talking about. And look at under Ruto, the scandals, the first less than 4 years. The scandals, you cannot. They are surpassed the other three presidents.
Give an example on what you're saying.
Let's take a break.
I will. Let's start there. When you come back.
Let's take a break. Oh my, it's just about to get down. All right, Brad, stay with us.
If you want us to go that way, if you want us to go that way, I will tell you one thing.
Welcome back. Endelea. We are on.
If you want us to go that route, which way? I will tell you that route of numbers. I will tell you, you people from the left side, you are 700,000 minus South Nyanza. You are 700,000. And if you did not, when we were together with you, it is factual. You can go because I can see what you are being said from those guys of yours from State House. You can go to that and Google. IBC results. When we were together with you people, we were the one who was stating you, our vote. Because you are not even voting for that Baba you are talking about.
Who are you? The turnout is 60. 60%. 60 to 70% in Nyanza.
My friends,
Yeah.
it's no Nyanza that controls politics in this country.
How?
We don't know the numbers. And that is why even ODM now, when there's a problem in ODM, when the big brother coughs, everybody shrinks.
That is
That is why when there's Linda Mwananchi and Linda Ground and the two ODM functions, it affects Wiper, it affects which party do you belong to. All these other people, all these other opposition parties get affected because ODM has coughed. That is the main party of the country. And you see, whether they play opposition politics, wherever they play, wherever they are, even
Victor,
Kalonzo, whom you support probably.
Are we talking
is
about
also-
ODM here, which has its own in-house problems? I was a member of that
Okay,
party.
I wanted to correct
now,
something.
Now, why should
Victor,
we be
Victor,
saying ODM is
Victor,
a strong
okay,
party?
I wanted to correct something.
Yes.
Under the Kenyan law, a retired president should not hold office in a political party for more than 6 months after leaving office. You get me right? They are expected to transition into a consultative advisory role. Despite this, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has remained actively involved in political party, which is wrong. After 6 months, they should not continue holding a role, any position in a political party. And it's saying, despite Uhuru Kenyatta has continued leading Jubilee Party, Mwalimu, it is wrong.
What is not
Deputy
wrong?
Governor, it is wrong. The Constitution says that a former president should not continue holding any position in a political party 6 months after being retired.
But that does stop him from commenting
Yeah.
or talking politically?
He should play an advisory role. Before they came,
Based on what you've read,
Where are you,
Does it say
yes,
that you
where are you
Which
reading?
that? Which article
Which article?
of the Constitution?
the Constitution,
Because you might be reading something that has been sent to you.
No. The President Retirement Benefit Act technically bars retired president from taking up active political leadership role, a provision that has been challenged in court as discriminatory. It's been challenged in court as
It's
Where are
discriminatory.
you?
So,
Where are you
if
quoting?
it has been
So I'm
taken
saying,
that it's
despite the legal
discriminatory,
constraints, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has
what
maintained his
is
position.
the court decision? Tell us. What
The
is
court decision has not been.
Then why are we
What
still?
I'm saying,
It's been
what I was discussing about legal and political issues.
Of course.
What I'm saying, if the president will play an advisory role, it will be better for him. But if he gets himself into the murky politics of Kenya, that position will be eroded because he will be dealt with as any other political player, like any other MCA or any other deputy governor or
Victor,
I have this discussion because
Victor,
By who?
which section of the law is he quoting? That is my question.
No, we can check the law.
Okay.
The law is there.
Someone
as we're still looking for that,
Yeah.
I'm liking this discussion
sent by
because
some lawyer to him.
we are trying to compare the retired presidents, the late Mwai Kibaki and President Moi. We'll all know that those two gentlemen exited office at their ripe and prime age, all right?
Yes.
And so the political discourse and landscape way back then was so different from what we are experiencing today. There is a Mount Kenya effect, there is Jubilee effect.
They were not there before?
Okay, and there is Rigathi Gachagua effect. And now, Raila Odinga is not there. When you have all these four aspects put together, that would actually scare someone to tell that Uhuru Kenyatta should not speak. Mwalimu.
You know, Victor, one very important point here, and he has said, it has been challenged in court. If a matter has been challenged, why are we even discussing it here? So the president has his time, President Uhuru has his time to guide the country. But the Constitution, I believe, does not tell him how to guide the country. A phone call telling Kenyans where we are and where we should be going and who can save this country or how the country should change should not be seen as really a travesty. It is still within his mandate, and we have already said it clearly. It's also his democratic right. But when people jump out the following day insulting President Uhuru, it doesn't deserve those insults by these little boys. And you see, some of these guys were actually dressed very well. They were dressed very well by Reverend Usito Juang, who told them that their role is oversighting executive and not promoting executive interests. They are supposed to promote national interests. Then again, you look at it. I look at them on the TV yesterday. A majority of them, and 95% of them, are from the same one region. It is not fair that we try to bring an ethnic angle into what the president said during the meeting in Narok. And he has a right. And we can see what problems we have in this country and how they're not being solved. We have seen now people, even the President Ruto himself, is contradicting statistics from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, that we should believe him rather than official statistical visual numbers delivered by a government agency. So we have lies. You know, they want us to believe in lies rather than believe in facts.
Okay.
Don't miss.
DG, you are actively in political leadership. Why would you want the former leader in your county not to speak on matters relating to Machakos County?
He speaks.
Are you
He
worried?
speaks all through.
Are you worried about
Even
that?
sometimes in my presence, in governor's presence, Dr. Mutua speaks. He has even a political party which he champions. By the way, even in the assembly, his troops are our biggest opposers.
And
He comes personally, not even sending, nor even through phone calls. He comes himself several times. We have even shared a podium where he sometimes even lectures some of us, and it is okay.
He provides advisory.
So in this case, I don't know why.
I use that example so that we move it from your position to the national level.
Yes.
All right? The former governor and now former president.
Yes.
You've said that at some point you share a podium, you know, there is that political discourse that you champion all separately.
Yes.
And I've asked you, does that really worry you as the current leadership of Machakos?
No. I will tell you one thing. Unless the constitution is changed,
yes,
we know the former governor will never come back.
He will.
Because
very good.
Because
what is the
he
difference?
will never come back as a governor.
Hold on. The difference is this.
I use that example also.
It is wrong example. What happens is former governors have come back to politics as senators. Senator Mandago was former governor from Usin Gishu. He's now the senator for...
I'm talking as a governor. As a governor.
He participates in politics because he can still run. The former president is barred by our laws to participate and hold political office.
Okay.
But by our laws, not former governors. But former governors have come back as senators.
I've asked him
He said he cannot come back as a governor.
As a governor.
Don't convolute the issue.
I'm saying governor is different because we have evidence, and he is a researcher, we have evidence that former governors participate in day-to-day running of politics, and they've come to hold political office, and they've been elected again in office. Currently, former governor Nairobi is running for, I don't know, Homa Bay or something like this. But former governor is different from the president.
He didn't retire.
The president is a symbol of national unity for the 10 years that he's been given to run in office. And you can only compare Uhuru Kenyatta to Jakaya Kikwete. You can only compare Uhuru Kenyatta to Thabo Mbeki. You can only compare Uhuru Kenyatta to former President Kabila of DRC. You cannot compare Uhuru Kenyatta to Governor Mutua.
This is all about to stop him from asserting his influence.
I'm saying even if Uhuru Kenyatta today in his office, he works as the envoy, the Kenyan envoy to the DRC. That is the work of the former president.
Okay.
We've not said Mutua can work as
you said that it was just a phone call, of which
Yes.
that was the thing.
Yes.
And now we are talking about his influence today. We are headed towards election. There is that aspect of active political rebuttal. If his name is called, he has a right to respond.
Precisely. Now they are talking. Yeah. You know, it's like they are waiting for him to say something.
And the people who rebut against Uhuru Kenyatta have right to rebut.
Protect my space, Victor, please.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are seeing the President Uhuru coming into the podium, through a phone call. Now they have attacked him. They're saying they're going to withdraw even his benefits. You know, let me say this, Victor. For me, that is really the worst thing anybody can do. That everyone in this country is being threatened. Is being threatened and being scared. They are selling fear to everyone that if you said anything against the system, you are going to be punished. And they say it publicly. You're going to be punished. We have seen it happen before. He was attacked. The president was attacked. His property was attacked immediately this government came to power. They harassed not by Gachagua. This guy, who is in charge in this country, President Ruto is the head of state and is in charge of the armed forces. He's the one who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Who attacked Uhuru?
Can I be allowed to speak?
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. He was attacked by the state.
The criminals.
And the head of state.
But the criminals.
In fact,
that is misguiding.
Let me go again.
You can't come to, you can't come to national TV.
Victor, let me go
and
again.
claim that Uhuru Kenyatta was attacked by the state. There was no state. He was attacked by criminals.
Let me tell you. We have seen goons, and this is the same problem. We are seeing this problem is getting worse and worse every day because government, again, is sponsoring goons to attack citizens. And we know for sure. Even the church you're not sure about some of these things. No, I know what I'm saying. Why are you interfering with what I'm saying?
Okay.
Can you wait for your time? Yeah? My student. I thought I taught you some manners. Some manners. You can't even respect your teacher. Now, we have gone even a notch higher.
Yes.
That government sponsors goons to attack opponents. That political intolerance, Kenyans are not going to allow. Government can only rule at the will of its people, not by coercion, by intimidation, and they make it publicly that even the former president, when he makes a statement that rubs someone in the wrong way, is threatened with withdrawal of benefits that are not paid by the state, by people, these human beings who are governing on our behalf, but taxpayers. Taxpayers are the ones that pay President Uhuru money.
Yes.
They should come to us and ask us whether they should continue paying him, but not a few people going out there in rallies who insult all the time to tell the president, to call the president to order.
Okay. Everything is about strategic politics and 2027 planning. That is basically what is here. Because Jubilee Party is still strategizing as them putting the house in order. I asked the DG this question, how the relationship between the current leadership of Machakos County and the former to bring that point closer home. And he said that they still meet at a podium, they lecture each other, and that ends there. You're not afraid of that, sir, right?
No.
So when it comes to political discourse, I am so sure even the former office is also actively involved in other political moves in the county and all that, because he has got MCAs and all that. But when it comes to the national politics, 2027, do we want to say that Jubilee should not have the voice of the former president as a guiding father, as a guiding figure to support the team towards 2027? DG.
First and foremost, I want to ask a question. Why is this group so astonished? Why do they fear the former president? Yet we know the former president, unless we change the constitution, will never come back as a president of the Republic of Kenya. Secondly, you know, I sat here, Victor, the same seat, and I told you, road nearing the next election, you will see casualties. Even Oscar here will run away. I can tell you.
Okay.
Come next year, in fact, even before I entered here, I was trying to negotiate with a very senior figure, not to leave at this, not to make an announcement, to wait a little bit. Nobody wants to defend this thing, this student, but I believe he was not a serious student. You see, you will see many from across the country running away from this thing. Why? Because of the kind of things they are doing. Anything they try to touch like this cup, it turns away the other way, and it does never. By the way, Oscar, the problem, and I will tell you, I wish we had a screen here. I wish that screen over there was showing us the reactions. You run away.
From Kenyans?
No, reactions of what you are saying and what this show is all about. Yeah. I'm sure Kenyans are very much mad at you.
Why?
Because you are speaking and quoting outdated things that what? You cannot defend anywhere, yet you are associated with academics. Like what you are quoting about the president. I expected you, a little bit, just be patient. Be patient. Don't interfere and don't become a neckline in a national TV. So the thing I'm saying is, you need to quote something authentic. I'm sure that is what Professor Basanda taught you in class. You don't just bring a section of an argument in court and you want to bring it in a national TV about the former president. He has a right. First, as a Kenyan. Two, he is the only surviving former president. He has the right, every right, whenever things are not going right, to stand up and say as it is, without appearing as though he is against one side or another. That is the only single person we have in this country today. In case of anything in this country, he will stand and he will be listened. Not like your leader, who nobody listens to.
If Uhuru stands tomorrow in this country, the way Deputy Governor is talking about, to be listened to, it can only happen if he desists from taking sides and putting himself in the position he wants to put himself. But if he stands as an African eminent person, get me right, he will earn the respect. He never threw our country into war. He never did anything bad during his time, serious things. And he left office honorably, democratically, handed over power to the next person in line. But if he wants to participate in politics and gets attacked, because if he speaks, there will be rebuttal. And that rebuttal might not be something good for him.
But gentlemen, we all understand that this is Kenya politics, and all these rebuttals are just, they're just...
I'm only giving an advisory thing to Uhuru Kenyatta, but his henchmen and people who admire him might tell him differently, because if it is people who are scared, probably it is the United Opposition who are scared. That's why they want to bring Uhuru Kenyatta as a player. Uhuru Kenyatta cannot be a player in this one. Let everybody do their thing. Let the United Opposition come up with alternative things they want to do to the wrongs that have been done in this country. If you want to replace somebody who is working, you must bring a better person. They've not shown us any better person. When I say Mawana agenda, the thing is, I'm only analyzing what is happening in the political terrain. And as I'm telling you, by now it is 1 year to election. It is difficult to even say who is going to run against the incumbent president, because we still don't know. What are we analyzing? So we are going down to analyze the former president, because the united opposition or the alternative opposition don't have anything to present on the table. So let's go and discuss the former president, because...
Very good. Victor, let me say this, because I can see maybe would picked a student other than picking the ambassador and the teacher to advise them.
The student has become
The
better
thing
than
is,
the teacher.
you know, we started so well.
You never.
Victor, you see, this country...
These things I was taught by...
It is good. It is good. Victor, it is very good. It is very good that we started so well, and the government started by operating a program called abductions and forced disappearances. Then we went to goons. Whenever this group is around anywhere, any city, goons started with UDA, following their leader everywhere, looting, running away with the bicycles, terrorizing Kenyans. And now they are upgrading the same.
And by the way,
so
I'm not in support of any
why can't you listen? That is what you are told by your teacher here. I'm sure. So what I'm saying is, because you are not used to be challenged, because you fear the unknown, because of the sins, some of them economic sins you have committed, you are scared whenever anybody speaks. If you want us to discuss the issues touching on alternative government, please invite us. That is something that will take a whole show, and I will be in a position to prove something very good to you and to Kenyans.
Gentlemen, I want us to discuss something here pretty fast. We saw what happened to over the weekend. And I want us to discuss how we saw how Governor James Orengo was ejected from a funeral in Kisumu. What does that remind you, Ambassador?
It reminds me of the dark ages. I was a university student when President Moi was the president then. And our space, political space, democratic space was constricted because we were operating under the old constitution. And I saw how that political intolerance grew to a level that I remember Liki being nyaunyod, if I may use that, in Nakuru. That political intolerance, it is against any human dignity, it's against any human being to be done that way. And I would like to say this, that we started slow, as Governor said, the DG has said, that we started slowly, state-sponsored goonism. This actually is taking a life of its own.
Yeah.
It has reached a point where you are seated and someone will come with goons and eject you from a meeting, a funeral meeting, a somber ceremony that is celebrating an old man who had achieved a lot for the community. It is a shame. For me, it's a shame. And when nobody condemned that, even in subsequent discussions in the same place, except for that reverend, these people, I think, do not care about the future of this nation. And I would say, without fear of contradiction, that they are elevating Orengo to another level. And I thought that Orengo was in his own environment, in his own elements. I saw in the 1990s, Orengo was being, you remember, you could see the pictures. We went to the archives where he's hiding together with Raila, and he's being attacked by government. Shikuku and all. We are going back to that, honestly. Those of us who lived during that period, we do not want our country to slide back into repression, into autocracy, into those fear and intimidation, and the state's face is still there, because the state should have intervened. Why should the state let things unfold the way they did? What if those goons killed Orengo or harmed him badly?
I want to take a quick break, but Oscar, this one majorly happens in the ODM. It doesn't matter which faction, but let's just call that house ODM. And we are seeing a lot of these things happening now after the demise of Baba. Are you trying to see what I'm seeing?
Yes. After the demise of Baba, first of all, I also want to condemn the use of goons anywhere they are. I mean, Stalin said that if you want to destroy any country, arm civilians. If civilians can take their own, can take it upon themselves to use force and violence against anybody, then we can be headed the Haiti way. So anything to do with goon and what have you and use of them, wait, who is using them? Be it government or non-government, non-state actors. It is clearly wrong. I cannot support that one. Number two, issue of goonism is not being used by only state operators. All these politicians, the oppositions, I mean, the people who you've seen protecting, like, for example, people have been protected because, for example, I think even Honorable Gachagua had been attacked in some church somewhere. Then he also had to beef up his security. And whom did he use to beef up his security? Another team of goons. So it is wrong from whichever angle you look at it.
Okay, let's take a quick break. Okay. Just 1 minute break, and we come back. We'll be finalizing this discussion shortly. Stay with us.
We have a new crop of leaders now.
Okay. Welcome back.
Oburu is the new crop.
Oscar, you were finishing your statement.
I was saying that the other goons are not the proper means. We should elevate the proper, because what is a government? A government is the state institution that has the monopoly to use legal violence. Nobody else is accepted to use legal violence except the government. And now, putting the police and the security apparatus, I think we need to, probably Bosiri and the rest, we need to really recheck our constitution. Because even where deputy governor is, you know, the provincial administration that we had before had the security apparatus. And when we brought in this devolution thing, I think part of our security was elevated, moved backwards, because power was in the county government and power was in the devolved unit and power was in the governors who don't control the security. Or probably we should change the constitution so that probably the devolved units have some input in the security of this of their counties. Because the runaway goonism and whatever is happening is...
But they do? Don't you
Yeah,
have that?
they do, but I'm not strong as the original, the traditional provincial administration. Dr. Richard Busiri, you know very well how the provincial administration provided security and how the government was in touch, and this goonism culture that we are getting, there's a problem, there's a disconnect, because the provincial administration has set a back. And Richard has the authority to even speak to this, because he teaches public administration and public order. And now there's disorder, there's chaos everywhere. If you see what happens in Nairobi, for example, when any politician, not even the president, when any politician goes down to do politics and do rallies in Nairobi, people get mugged along the way. But again, we have also the youth bulge and also youth unemployment.
Okay.
These are national problems we need to deal with, so that we deal with that thing. But unless we deal with it, I think one time Honorable Gachagua said that if you don't deal with some of these things, the next election will be like, 2007 will be like a Christmas party. We are really sitting in a time bomb. I come from area where this problem is really affecting people. And whatever you saw in Kisumu the other day, we are discussing it at our level. It is very, very bad down there because of youth unemployment, because of the back position that the provincial administration has taken. A DEO today means nothing to some of these people. A chief means something. There's no chief act. The police themselves that they control don't have authority over the political, because power shifted from the provincial administration to the devolved unit that we elected.
Okay.
But that provincial administration, probably, we should be able to put the OCPD or OCS under the governorship.
Thank you. How does this really change the perception of voters? When we see such kind of, we know Governor Orengo belongs to the other side of Linda Mwananchi. And when you see him being ejected from a funeral and all that, at their chance, how does that change the perception of his constituency, the voters and people who support him? They just say nationwide.
By the way, it is a very dangerous thing. And before I go there, let me go back to the same incident.
Yeah.
The son to the late Mzee who was being buried, that is Dr.
Nyikal, yes.
Whom we were together and we served in the same committee in Parliament during my tenure in Parliament. I think there is something he said which was very interesting, and he said it in public. He said, Kisumu Senator, someone, the chief Ngun, the chief organizer, came and talked while they were seated together. And he asked him, if this was your father's funeral, will I be doing this? And he went ahead and told him, please, can you intervene and tell your boys you have come with to stop this madness? And when when the professor intervened, it almost stopped, because it were orders. What am I trying to say? This was an organized goonism. I am on this forum and I will say this. ODM, and I know it has very good brains. Thank God Oscar is not part of their advisors. Let him continue on devising Arambe House and the State House. If we continue with this kind of goonism, let's not go even outside this continent. In Great Lakes region, within our region here, some of the countries I don't want to name surrounding this country, we know where this root of goonism and organized violence, state-supported and sponsored goonism, where has taken those countries. It is a very dangerous, dangerous thing. The goonism, they are being supported by this administration to suppress their opponents. It is a matter of time. If they don't stop it, I will tell you, today, victim could be you, Victor. Tomorrow is me. The day after, we don't know whether it will be Oscar or Professor Basanda here who will be affected. And why we are seeing, coming now to answer your question, the people who elected James Orengo as a governor, how is it going to affect them? How are they going to perceive him? One thing I will tell you, because they saw what happened, those who support and those who look up to Governor Orengo will henceforth look at ways of ensuring he is safe. And that is where the problem Oscar described now comes in. Because if the state is unable to protect me, those who put me into that office will have a responsibility.
Which should not happen.
If today Kalonzo was the one who was called in Homa Bay because he was there, I think he was somewhere, either Mingori or Homa Bay.
Homa Bay County.
I will tell you, we as people who look up to him will move and ensure he is secure, and he will move anywhere he wants securely. Now, this brings me back to the question that brought a lot of it here. These people who are in power today, if they want to withdraw anything they think they are doing to, any favor they think they are doing to former President Uhuru Kenyatta, then let them withdraw. We can even changa, even 50 cents, 1 shilling, and President Uhuru Kenyatta will be okay. They will not intimidate some of us to keep quiet. That will not happen. They abducted us. They forced many of us to disappear. They even, some were shot, like the late Jane C's protest. We saw what happened. And people have not kept quiet. It is people sitting down and agreeing to adhere to the dictates of our constitution. Okay. That is what is going to keep this country together. So that tomorrow, I'm not thinking about my security, but I'm thinking about which proposal my opponent, Oscar, here is bringing to the table to lead this country. And I challenge that proposal with another policy alternative, as opposed to the question of we are meeting somewhere, I hire a crowd to cheer me and others to echo this one. That is hooliganism.
Doctor, in 1 minute, if you can do this, because we are running out of time, how, just your point on that.
Now, I already mentioned a few things, but the level of intolerance that is increasing in our country will breed rejection of the perpetrators of violence. And the level of tolerance which is increasing will actually breed rejection of the perpetrators of the violence. In other words, I've seen a pattern, and I wish that politicians would see this. When you use wounds to attack your opponents everywhere. In fact, you will elevate your opponents. You will keep on improving their profile politically. And I think those who advise the president should tell him that these things are the ones, part of the reasons why Kenyans feel that they should get a change 2027. Secondly, when you push citizens into a mode of self-help, what I mean, self-help is like there's no law and order, and therefore I must take arms and defend myself. We have seen it in Kitui the other day.
Yeah.
We saw it, Seikulu, where people have carried arms. They are with bows and arrows, with spears, with machetes and all that. And in the open, and in the news, they are there. And the police are not protecting their citizens. It is very dangerous. Self-help is very dangerous because people will not have faith in state apparatus. And that is what is creeping into people's minds, that we have to protect ourselves. Even people, leaders, distinguished leaders, whose security, they have threatened to withdraw security in the past, or they have withdrawn security in the past.
Yes.
They have gone into private security arrangements. All these things, Victor, I'm saying, are making our country insecure, and government or the state must address it, not politically, must address it unless they have no capacity to address the security situation in the country. Finally, Victor, if you give me a second. The problem of Gunism in our country is because of the desperation our youth have been subjected to. They have done it through unemployment. Education is inaccessible, university education, or unaffordable. And we're struggling talking about concrete floors, roads, and all this, when the software is underfunded, and it is now feeding into the political arena. Political exploitation of our youth, the youth of this country, must stop. when government will sufficiently invest in education and in manufacturing, in those sectors that will help create jobs. Not when they're creating conditions that actually are making jobs fly away, insecurity being the one. In other words, we are saying education should be treated as a security issue to this country. It has now been securitized. You can talk about the security impact of the way we are governing the country, especially on employment and education of our youth.
Oscar, let me ask you this question. Based on what I've just asked, how that really change the perception of the voter, and even how does that embolden Governor Orengo himself, his supporters, and the perception generally in the face of Wanjiku?
I've just told you that the use of goonism is both sides. My colleagues here want me to believe that only one side is using goons against the other. I've told you this.
No, government must be in control.
Can I finish?
Yeah, government must be in control.
Yes, I've told you that if you want to deal with the root cause of goonism, then all political leaders must be brought to order.
By who?
By government. Number two, issue to do with Orengo's supporters. I don't want to talk to this one, but the thing is that anytime we want to win the hearts and minds of the people, I think on this one, probably on this particular day, he might have not been prepared for this. He knew he was just going for a funeral, and he just went. And I think even him, if he goes next time, he might go prepared.
All right.
So I'm telling you that it is unsafe for everybody, like Governor is saying, it's unsafe for everybody.
Generally, that should not happen.
That should not happen. But no, I didn't come here to bash government.
Okay.
I came here to look for solutions with you
Thank
guys,
you.
but I didn't make.
Okay, let's just wrap it up. But before we go, IBC did the voter registration 30 days, and it ended on 18th of last month with a total registered voters of 2,345,476,000. Their top 5 counties: Nairobi County emerged top, led by Nairobi, Kiambu, Nakuru, Kakamega came fourth. And do you know the 5th county topping the nationwide registration?
Machakos.
Give it to the DG.
Yes.
It's Machakos.
Machakos led at number 5 with 84,000.
You are nowhere in top 10. This broad, blood-based thing. You are nowhere.
Good job.
I tell you.
Yeah, that was 1 month. 84,198. We have to give it to him. Situmpige makofi jamani. Yeah. Okay, situmalize hapo. Tukimaliza. Thank you so much for joining us, DG. Continue doing that, because voter registration exercise is an exercise that still continues.
But Victor,
Yes.
Victor, you know, just the first one, very quickly. Politics is about numbers.
Sure.
Number 2, this group on advice of Oscar threw out almost 3/4 of what brought them to power, and picked 0.00%, and now that is their problem. Even what they picked is split.
Lastly, Victor, just to answer the DG. Just to answer the DG.
That was the last one.
So that's why they are now annoyed.
Let's cross over to Kisumu.
We had tyranny of numbers.
Oscar.
This time we had tyranny of tricks
Oscar.
and strategies.
Thank
That
you
is
so
what we
much.
learn in elections.
Oscar
Not numbers
Mondi,
anymore.
governance expert, political analyst at University Don, Asante
Stealing.
and his teacher here, Dr. Ambassador Richard Musile. Thank you so much for joining us.
on live on camera.
Stealing votes will not help. It
Let's go
won't.
to
Tyranny
Kisumu.
of strategy.
Let's go to Kisumu. Thank you so much for watching. Good morning. Bye-bye.